Welcome, freaks. My name is Craig McDowell, and this is Scott Grun, and today we're going to be going over the orientation training policies and procedures packet. By now, you've probably had a few days of training. You're settling in. You're getting to know your staff, the manager, kind of seeing how things operate. So this is just more or less a brief overview on our policies and procedures. We're continuing to add to these procedures and policies. It almost seems weekly now. So this book is now about 14 pages. By springtime, it'll probably be 20, and by the end of the year, it might even be closer to 50. So we're continuing to get better, guys. We're still pretty new at this. Remember, we've only been in business about 40 months. So just be patient as things are continuing to change.
Yeah. And as we go through this, a real quick, hopefully you're watching this with your manager. If not, if you're stuck in a room by yourself, that's definitely not our system or our process. Stop this training and call Craig or Mark, and we'll put his number down here for you. But everything's meant to be, this training specifically is going to be a little different than the other ones. You're going to probably start and stop this several times. There's some signatures you're going to have to sign as we go through this, and then this packet will actually go in your file. And so make sure what you're signing you understand, and you're going to need your manager there to really dig down a little bit deeper. And as Craig said, we're not going to be able to cover every policy. So if something shows up on a page that we didn't get to, just go ahead and make sure you understand what we're asking you to do.
Okay. Yeah. And as we do continue to add to these policies and procedures, it seems like the more we do it, maybe the more we're micromanaging, and that's not the point we're trying to get across here, guys. Is we really don't have that many rules within Clean Freak. We like to give you the liberty and the freedom to just kind of be who you are and let your personality come out. And remember what Mark says in some previous videos is we're just here to take care of the customer, right? And that's what we're kind of setting out to do.
Yeah. One thing we also said earlier is part of your challenge is to buy in quickly. Naturally, you may have a different philosophy or a different thought from other jobs you've had, or it should be done this way or that way. But so we use the term just buy in quickly. Just here's the rules, and just okay. If that's the rule, if that's what time you need me here, if that's what I have to wear, then you'll just kind of buy in quickly. So that'll just kind of support what we've been talking about, and just ask your managers about people who haven't bought in quickly and how difficult the transition is for them. So why don't we jump into this real quick?
Let's go to the first page, just kind of our zero tolerance policies. Sexual harassment, obviously, guys, gals, we have a zero tolerance. We have terminated a few employees for this. We want a safe work environment, so there's definitely a zero tolerance on that.
Yeah. Drug and alcohol use. We do spot drug testing, and we're around a lot of dangerous equipment. We've had employees in the past, they show up with alcohol in their breath. That's you're automatically sent home for that. We've had guys show up with just bright red eyes and thinking everything's good, and drug test and termination if things come back positive. So we cannot have a company that's passive about this policy. So we're very serious about those.
Yeah, theft, embezzlement, obvious, guys. It's instant termination. We do daily reconciliation, so we do know where our money's going, and people try and test it, and we've fired many people over theft, and it's just not worth it, guys, to have a felony on your record. Those things stick around for a long time, and it's just not worth it for the short-term gain.
Yeah. So take a minute. If you have any questions about that, or you can ask your managers about some stories they've heard in the past, but go ahead and sign that and date that right now, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes. All right, guys, let's jump into this. So on the first page, this is our miscellaneous policies, just kind of a catch-all for just kind of random policies. But tardiness, we're going to jump into this in more detail here in a minute, but we just want to throw this out there is you're scheduled to be at your job at the time posted, and we look at that as 5 minutes before your posted time. But if you're excessively late of 10 minutes, and you'll hear this again, is if you do that 3 times in a short, we'll start deducting your pay from from $9 back to $8.50 to $8, and we'll start dinging you guys 50 cents an hour. It's very difficult to run a company when people just show up randomly whenever. It's going to happen every now and again. Save those every now and agains for once in a while. I don't know. But be careful with that. And excessively late for us is 10 minutes, and you're written up, and you're kind of starting to thread on.
Yeah, and the reasoning behind this policy, guys, is if we have small teams, as you've noticed, we have 2, 3, 4 at the most per shift, so you're not working a target here where we got hundreds of people to pull from. So when someone shows up 10 minutes late, it's just it sets the whole rest of the day up for catch up and throwing people off their
Yeah. And a lot of it, we don't know if you're not there at 10 minutes. It's like, gosh, are you coming? Did you forget? And so it's very difficult to run a company like this. So that's where we're at with that.
Uniforms, pretty straightforward. It's your black clean freak shirt, pants, or shorts with a black belt, black shoes, and black, if you're wearing shorts, they're black ankle socks.
Yeah, we should talk, Craig. You've been around the country looking at different people's uniforms, and it's a hodgepodge and mismatch of one employee's wearing this, another person's doing this. And so when we started the company, we wanted to be very, uniformed. Everyone looks the same, like a sports team. Yep, you're definitely part of the team. Not some person's in jeans, some person's in.
Yeah.
So
long hair, earrings. It's just, we get more compliments on that. Wow, your employees just look so nice and professional, and I think it carries a lot of weight with our customers.
We decided before we even washed one car, as in the designing phases, is to have an appearance policy. Part of that means tattoos, piercings, even haircuts. It's going to be clean cut. If you have a tattoo, you're going to want them covered if they're on your arms, and you could cover them. And your manager's got a bunch of different strategies or ways you can cover your tattoos through like the Under Armour gear. But we have one chance really to make a good first impression, and it's very important that we get a wow. People come on our property and they get a wow feeling here.
Yeah. Foul language, we don't tolerate it. You won't hear us using foul language. If you do, please call us on it, because we don't allow it from the top down. If you're not willing to say it in front of your grandma, I probably shouldn't be saying it at work either.
Yeah, and like Craig alluded to earlier, is we're a small team here. We don't give breaks for smoke breaks, and so the hours you're working, there are no smoke breaks, and obviously no chewing tobacco. So just make sure you know the rules when you come in, and your managers are going to abide by that. So
gossip is another thing we take pretty seriously.
Big one.
Yeah, we define gossip as if anything spoken to another employee who can't help you solve that problem, we consider gossip. So if we understand that people have frustrations at work, but just make sure you're going to the right person with those frustrations.
Yeah. So let's just give an example. So if you're upset about, hey, I'm not making enough pay, and you're complaining with another employee about your pay, that employee is not able to give you pay raise. I mean, Vince can do it. Your managers, Craig, Mark, someone on the executive team, but you cannot go side to side about complaining. We're okay. The reason these policies exist are because a lot of frustrations people have had. And we're like, okay, that's a new policy. That's the way it needs to be. And so gossip is one we cannot tolerate. And managers, you have to protect your team and don't allow it. It kills company. It kills cultures. And so let's be have the courage to say something's not right and see if we can get the answers corrected. So that's a real big one here for us.
Cell phone policy, it's a tough one. I understand that these cell phones, they almost feel like an appendage now, where if you leave home or if you don't have it on you, you feel like you're missing something. But just don't abuse it at work. We're there to get a job done. We're there to take care of the customers, and the last thing they want to see is someone with their face down, texting while they're sitting there waiting to be greeted. It's just not professional. You wouldn't want it done to you. You notice it when employees are when other businesses are treating you that way, and it's just not a good experience.
Yeah. So be careful there. Why don't we go ahead and talk those through with your manager again, and then go ahead and sign that page and date it, and then we'll keep going. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
So again, we're at the uniform and appearance standard. It's probably one of the hottest buttons in the clean freak culture is well represented employees who look neat and tidy, who have their shirts tucked in, who actually are wearing black ankle socks. We always have someone testing the policy on black ankle socks. We'll have someone show up with white. White knee high or just above the ankle, just to see if we really are that sticklers on uniform. So we just want you guys to blend in. We've changed this uniform around a few times. We used to have orange shirts, but we found out after a week, 2 months, the shirt would just be black in the front because it's a dirty job. You'll find out. So we've made adjustments on our uniform to try and keep you guys looking as polished as possible.
Yeah. So sign and date the section here in uniform, and also talk on the appearance and really go in deep with your manager. And let's just jump here to this attitude agreement and how that all got started.
Yeah, what goes into a good attitude? Another thing we take so seriously. We believe that your attitude is the one thing that you control when you show up to work. There's so many things in life now that we have no control over, but showing up to work with a good attitude,
it's almost in every training we've talked about so far is having a good attitude and how important it is.
Yeah.
So there's 6 items here we've kind of listed. It's not everything, but let's just run through these 6 items real quick.
So smiling, are you engaging with the customer? You obviously know how far a smile can go with all the garbage and things that are going on in people's lives. We've gotten so many compliments on Yahoo and Yelp about our employees and just the attitude and just the way that they brighten someone's day.
Yeah, they're never commenting on the rinse cycle or
the clean wheels that they got or the spotless car. It's always goes back to the employee.
Yeah, we hear where do you find employees like this? And you got to know, we found you because you were smiling, because you had something about you that was different, and we wanted you part of the team. And so just continue. It's the bare minimum, but we know you load a couple hundred cars, it's hot, it's humid, it's easy not to smile, but you have to treat that first customer today and the last customer today the same. And it's a huge part that you just got to be grateful we have jobs and grateful we have customers coming through, and let's just smile at them. The bare minimum, smile.
Yeah. So just go through any questions with your manager about what it takes to have a great attitude. They'll let you know, and ask them any questions that you might have.
Yeah, number 2 is provide exceptional extra mile over the top customer service. The bare minimum is just people come in for a clean car wash, but the extra mile is the smiling, running, the hustling, anything we can do to serve these people. And you'll see in the loading video, if you haven't watched that yet, but people are new, they've never been on the site before, and it's just not going to go perfect every single time. So provide that exceptional extra mile service, and your manager can go in deep about really what that looks like on his or her site. Number 3, load vehicles the clean freak way. This is such an important issue. There's another training dedicated to just loading that Vince and Mark will show you exactly how they want it done. And just you can give the quick stories. I remember you and Mark and Vince flew all the way to Colorado to learn how to do this. I mean, it seems silly, but 3 days, that's how you do this. But we just weren't seeing this done around the country. You were seeing people loading on their cell phone, right?
Yep, cigarettes in hand. We saw it all.
Music blaring. We sell personal boom boxes at some competitor car washes, and it's just we don't want to be
lounge
like
chairs.
Yeah. So
Yeah, give the Fast Pass memberships, guys. That's what our business. That's what we've built our business on. Is the Fast Pass memberships. So, gosh, go over and above with your Fast Pass members. Make sure that they're always greeted. You always give them eye contact. You give them a wave when they're coming through the Fast Pass lane. When they pull up to the tunnel, greet them, ask them how their day is. You only have a few seconds with them, so you can make a big impression in those few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, hustle. Gosh, you've probably seen most of your teammates hustling and your manager hustling. We take it serious. I remember my baseball coach from Little League. He says you hustle on and off the field, which meant you're always running. So just always have that. If you always have that sense of urgency, like you want to get it done, it shows.
Yeah, customers don't mind waiting in line. If you're at a busy site, a busy Saturday, and it's really busy with cars, they don't mind it being busy. What drives them crazy is employees not hustling, not acting like there's some urgency to get them through.
Yeah.
So spend your time with that customer, but you're hustling to get to the next one. You're hustling to load. You're hustling to take the trash out. If someone's coming towards you, you're kind of walking intently to them. And you'll see some employees who, they're doing something else, and there's no one at the cashier gate, and they'll just come running over. And some people like to sprint, some people like to jog, but somewhere in between there is where you need to be. But just not lazily walking over to the customer. That's not our way. It's not what we're about. So you'll be tired at the end of the
There's this one guy at Chandler. Looks like he's doing the 100-yard hurdles as he's jumping over landscape.
And we get comments about him all the time, right?
Yeah, they love it.
Where do you find guys like that? So it's exciting. It's who we are. But you'll leave tired at the end of the day, and you'll do it in the middle of December when it's freezing cold, and you'll do it in the middle of July when it's very, very hot. So, but that's what we're about.
Yeah, be a team player. Gosh, how would I define that? I think the definition of a team player is just anticipate the needs of your teammate. Instead of having them having to ask you or search you down, just anticipate their needs.
Yeah, do your checklist completely. Don't just assume it'll get done tomorrow or they won't catch it. So go through your closing checklist, go through your opening checklist. Be on time. Be a team player. Wear the uniform. Cover a shift if someone's sick or can't make it. Help your manager out. Again, we have small teams, so you guys can get the maximum amount of hours. So be a team player. You could define that any way you want, like Craig said, but we look for those things. So go ahead and take a minute now and sign that and get with your manager. And again, we take attitude very, very serious as well as we do every aspect of the company. But sign that and we'll go on. Guys, on the employee responsibilities, there's a couple key points we're going to talk about, but most importantly is the site maintenance. With a name like Clean Freak on our shirts, having a clean site is paramount to our success.
Yeah. We can become the laughing stock of the town pretty quick when we're putting that name Clean Freak out there, and the place is a disaster. We got cigarette butts everywhere. We got gum stains everywhere. We don't, empty our trash. So if you haven't found out yet that how important that is to us, you guys just understand it. It's paramount to who we are and what we're trying to get across, and the customers pick up on the smallest of details.
Yeah. So every day you'll be doing something with the site inside the tunnel, in the landscaping to maintain that.
And you'll find that if you're coming into a clean property, guys, it doesn't take much effort to keep the place clean.
Yeah. Marketing, we have that on there because marketing, as we talk about this, Craig, all the time, is 96% of businesses fail. One of the major reasons is they stop doing marketing about 6 months after they open the doors. This is something that we will never, ever get away from, and your manager will show you how to do that, but every employee in our company is responsible for doing some form of marketing every week for an hour.
Yeah.
Just putting stuff on cards, but your manager will explain that to you, and that's a huge component of us being successful. And then we have a whole marketing department doing everything else, but the employee is responsible for 1 hour of that.
Yeah. The day we don't have new customers coming on our properties, you guys, we're one day closer to closing the doors.
Yeah, great point. Guys, from day one, we had a policy of no loud music, and that's for the guys in the vacuum. They come over, they want to crank their loud music, and it's all about them. And we don't want to allow that. We don't need those types of customers. So your job is to go up there. And I will tell you, the first couple of times you have to do it, it does feel a little bit odd. Like, hey, would you mind turning your radio down? But you got to remember, they're affecting 3 or 4 stalls on either side, and people they're wanting leadership. And so loud music, we just don't tolerate it, no matter what style music is.
Yeah, and you guys, it's not fun. It's not fun to confront someone else, right, and tell them what they're doing wrong. So there's power in numbers. So get one of your coworkers or your manager and walk over there. And now it's 2 against this guy. It's 2 people against this one guy, so there's just a lot more power in those numbers.
We have way too much invested on these sites, invested in you, invested in our managers to let one customer dictate the overall experience people are going to have, and that will chase people away from our property more than anything else. So that's good. A couple things real quick. A couple of your sites do have issues with panhandlers. Do not allow the panhandlers to come on site and solicit money from our customers. Just encourage them to leave. Call the cops if you need to, right?
The best way to take care of a panhandler is just have your phone in hand and tell them that you're going to be calling the police with the phone in hand, and they will walk away. It's an easy way to monitor that.
Yep. When we go to close the stores or even opening the stores, open the stores as soon as we're ready to go. Hopefully it's 5 minutes before posted. So you're opening the stores at 6:55, not 7. And then when it goes to closing the stores, they do change as the sun changes. So it's going to be open a little later in the summer, and it will close a little earlier in the winter. But we're always closing 5 minutes after we're posted, right? And so if that last minute customers, their clocks aren't perfect, we always stay open that extra 5 minutes.
So we don't prepare for closing 5 minutes before. We wait till 5 minutes after to put cones out and let people know we're closing.
Yeah, these are the little things, guys, that just shows our customers, hey, we care. We care about them. We care about growing this business.
Yeah, you all know how annoying it is when you when you show up to a retail establishment and you're there just in time, but the doors are locked. I mean, there's just nothing more frustrating than that. Mm-hmm. So it's not something we want to do.
Yep. And then just finally, over in shorts on your register, be accurate. It's all designed very simply. There's not a lot of coins. It's very simple transactions. Everything should be very, very accurate. So, again, it takes 30 days to learn that. Register. There's a lot of buttons going on there, but you are responsible for overs and shorts, and you'll be sending those numbers in every single day to Craig and Mark. They're looking at them, and if they're significant, you can be hit and warned for that. So just be cautious there. Take a moment, sign that, review those key points with your managers, and go ahead and sign. Guys, I want to talk to you real quick about the employees and the schedules. And I will tell you, our managers, one of the most difficult things they do each week is kind of putting the schedule together. If you have time off requests, submit them 10 days before the schedule's posted. Not 10 days before you need a day off, but give us a 10 days notice. And they usually put the schedules out around Thursday, so be wary of that. It's very difficult. The other thing is, guys, we have a policy that if you're excessively late, if you remember it's 10 minutes or more 3 times a month, you could get a reduction in pay by 50 cents. So we'll give you kind of 3 times to be late, but now you're starting to affect the entire team. And so you'll start getting a reduction in pay of 50 cents per hour, which many times it could lead to termination. So avoid that. Again, if it happens every now and again, it's unfortunate, but if it's excessive and continually, then you will be hit for that. Take a minute and sign the schedule and attendance policy. Review that with the manager.
Yeah, next page is the policy on truck bed cleanout. This may just be one of the most important policies that we have. You guys, the top line there says, when in doubt, clean out. You'll have trucks come in with I mean, there's straps, there's everything that the guy doesn't want to clean out of the bed of his truck. He'll come to our car wash, and hopefully our car wash will blow it out and clean it out.
Little rocks, little pebbles.
Yeah, rocks, pebbles, cans, toe straps. You guys, they're just stuff that can be detrimental to the functionality of our equipment.
What it's hitting the car behind them is the problem. This thing
That's
goes
right.
out of a truck bed, little pebble's going to go up in the air and hit the car behind him, and then you have a problem. The guy in the truck may not even know.
Yeah, and it's a disturbing noise. I was in the tunnel one time and I saw the wrap come around a truck bed and it grabbed a lock and a chain out of the bed of a truck and got tied in there and started beating the car behind it. And I just said, "Stop!" It was pretty alarming to see. Not something I want to relive. So
every site has a clean out area, and again, if you're new, talk to your manager. But many guys in trucks will pull up, just empty their stuff right there. They'll go around the park and put it back in. It's not a problem. They know the rules.
yeah.
So you're checking every single truck bed.
And there's two lines of defense, guys. There's the cashier, which is the first line, and if he misses it, our only next line of defense is the person loading. So just make sure when you're in that tunnel loading that you just peek in every truck bed.
We do want to stress here, Craig, that if you miss it and you're not paying attention, we talked earlier about the cell phone policy, and you're doing something different like texting or cell phone, and then this goes through. The employee's responsible here. We don't want you to be responsible, but just do your job correctly, and just we can't stress it enough. So when you sign that, spend a minute with your manager, and that happens all the time.
Yeah, it's being vigilant. It's a lot more catastrophic when you forget something in the bed of a truck than, when you're at McDonald's and they don't put cheese on your cheeseburger.
Yeah.
You guys, these damages are thousands of dollars when something gets hooked up in that wrap and starts beating a car. We're not looking at tens, fives. We're looking at thousands of dollars in repairs, guys.
Yeah.
The next policy is retract policy. Another important one. There's you're responsible for retracting the wraps. You're going to go over with your manager more in depth, but probably one of the most important things we're looking at is a double prong mirror. It has to be retracted. They're weak mirrors, guys. There's some makes and models of vehicles out there that you'll learn with your manager, but they must be retracted on.
Yeah.
There's antennas that you have to retract on. There's roof rack, bike racks. You guys at some of our locations, they're high commercial vehicle, and we get lots of taxis with the advertisements on the hood or in the roof of the vehicle. We get lots of luggage racks in there. You guys, this is all stuff that you need to be looking out for, and it has to be retracted on.
And go one step further. If you're on the register and you see that, you go and make sure you communicate with the loader just to cover your bases and help out your team.
Yeah, and your manager, he'll spend shoulder time with you, and hopefully he's going to be sitting with you for hours, just going on some of the things, because it's a lot different when you got stacks of cars and you're loading 5, 6, 7, 8 cars back to back, and to still have to be vigilant and be aware of what you need to be retracting on.
What do we do if a customer rolls down the window and says, "No, I come all the time. They don't have to retract on this." What should this employee do?
That happens a lot, you guys. There's customers that'll tell you how to perform your job. Don't let them do that. You're in control of your position. Remember, they're not responsible for the equipment malfunctioning or their roof rack getting ripped off or their bike rack getting ripped off and damage to their vehicle. Once that happens, they're coming to us. And remember, you're responsible. You're going to be signing down here that you're responsible for this. So don't let that customer talk you into something that you should be retracting on.
Yeah, and if they say, "Well, my car's not getting clean enough," they can go through again, and or it's possible Clean Freak might not be the best option for them.
Or remember, we have a bug prep station, so we have buckets of water with brushes that they can perform some pre-washing on.
Right. Okay, pause it and sign those two policies. So the final thing we want to talk about is how to handle an incident if you have it. Some of them, a lot of times, you're just the employee that's representing CleanFig at the time of an incident happens. It may not be our fault at all, but you still have to go through a certain procedure here to make sure it's done right. We have a form, and when you're done with this video, managers write this down, take them through the WooFoo page and how to fill it out and how to enter all the information correctly. And really, guys, if an incident happens in the tunnel,
whether it's a bump and there was no damage, you guys fill out the incident report, WooFoo it, and let everyone know what had happened.
Yeah. One of the most important things is take a picture and attach a picture to the WooFoo form. And when just so you know, when you submit the WooFoo form, it goes to all the owners, general managers instantly when that happens. So we're seeing this stuff in real time.
Yeah.
And we have found no matter how severe or minor an accident is, as long as people feel like they're being talked to, they're being heard, they can kind of put that incident over here on a shelf and still have a good experience with CleanFreak.
That's right.
Where frustration happens is this happened and radio silence. I didn't hear from anyone for weeks. And that's where they start boiling and getting very, very frustrated. And so we found this process works very, very well. And the manager will walk you through that as soon as we're done here.
Yep.
Right? So go ahead and sign that page. And then also anything, I just want to remind you guys, if there's anything we've missed in this policies and procedures, go ahead and cover that now with the employee. Again, there's a lot of information here, and there's 3-4 years of conversations that have been had, but hopefully you have a good understanding of what's important to us. All right? Anything else you want to add?
No, guys. Again, thanks. You're kind of in the mix of things now, and you're probably understanding a little bit more of how we think, what's important to us. So just continue to get better and better, and see you next time.
Keep the site clean all the time.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to keep a clean site clean than
Just start over. And be as responsible as you can. Oh, it's just stupid. Start over. Right to the point. Let's start again, Jeff. Ready?
Okay.
Take 2.
We have, just so you know, people.
It's 11 o'clock.
Take 2. Excessively.
Cell phone power.
Take 2. That was coming in.
Okay, let's start. Oh, you just sat there. I was like, "Ooh." Go ahead and stop. Stop talking. Thanks.
Thanks for your time.
Bye.